Mike-Aulby on the right. What can you say about a man that's won 19 championships, including the United States Open, the ABC Masters, and the PBA National, the only pro to be named both Rookie of the Year and Bowler of the Year. From Indianapolis, shot number 1. 10-pin on the left lane of this championship pair. Beautiful bowling center, part of the American Recreation Center string of 27 in California and Texas.
You're right, Chris. 50 lanes in this bowling center, 40 in a row, and then at an L-shaped angle, an additional 10. All synthetic lanes, no wood involved on these lanes, and it's a very smooth surface. The approaches are nice, the lanes roll very smoothly, and we expect some really good scores.
And Bo, I'm very proud of you, finishing 44th. You were ahead of your fellow Missourian Steve Wunderlich by 1.
Well, we had a good week. I enjoyed it. I've been bowling some league play. I practiced about 20 games a week before I came out here for the last month, and it was very exciting. I was a little nervous, as these players are in their first shot, but it worked out well. Now here's Parker-Bohn, first shot.
5-time champion from Freehold, New Jersey. A delightful guy, very talented, and very professional.
Parker-Bohn, just an ideal style, good arm swing. He's inside out. Watch him drop that swing in next to his left hip. Project the ball wide out on the lane. Now you see the ball drifting a little high, the 3 taking out the 6. Parker off to a good start up in his second frame.
Winner of the Steve Nagy Award, back-to-back. And he left a 7-pin on the left lane.
Almost all spares this week were single-pin spares. The players had no trouble hitting the pocket. You see Parker-Bohn with that wide angle out to the left edge. And the 4-pin, the second pin on the left-hand part of your screen, doesn't quite do its job. Leaves the 7. Parker will go across lane from the right side. A lot of extra speed, over 20 miles an hour. Throw the ball straight and hopefully knock it off.
Here's a man who in 1990 was on TV 6 times and won 3 from the top seed. Now, Mr. Aulby won his 19th title, the Greater Hartford Open, as the number 3 seed. He's number 4 coming in here. Done a lot of practicing here at this bowling establishment, as his wife's family lives here.
Aulby with just an ideal style that has allowed him to win 19 titles on a championship. You see him going wide, head pin to the sideboard, taking them all down.
Well, that was sort of a Hoosier slap by Mike-Aulby. His residence with his wife Tammy and son Christopher. So Mike-Aulby comes with a double, and there is Tammy. Born in Monterey, California. What an artist.
Aulby gets a great break there. He lost the ball on a downswing, but direction is 95% of this game, especially any game played with a round ball. Gets a great break and starts with a double. Now Bohn up in the 3rd, trails by 10.
And again, it's a 7-pin, but this time on the right lane. Tall and lanky, 5'11", 150 pounds. 28 years old. Mike-Aulby is actually quite young at 31.
That's the prime for a pro bowler, ages of 28 to 38. Take a look at Parker-Bohn. Uses the fingertip grip. Fingers are inserted down to just the first knuckle. Has that wrist flattened out for the spare. No hook.
Parker-Bohn III told us earlier how active he really is on the tour.
Well, but when I'm home, I try to do some activities such as fundraisers. In the fall, when the fall tour was done, I went and did a couple 2 or 3 weekends fundraisers. One was up in the Albany area, one was in North Jersey. And as a matter of fact, this year, the Johnny Petraglia Open, when I'm home, we do a fundraiser for the New Jersey Tournament of Champions, which is athletic events for special education children. We help raise funds.
That was the voice of Parker-Bohn referring to Johnny Petraglia, one of the 3 Triple Crown winners and another left-hander.
Bohn throwing the ball a little bit too hard on this particular shot. Speed control is very important on synthetic lane surfaces. Slides by and leaves the 3-6-9. By no means an easy spare. The key pin, the 9 pin.
Oh, wow. Put your heart in your throat, but it's a spare nonetheless. Okay, we'll return after this. To accommodate more people here in Sacramento, California, bleachers at the far end, the approaches here. Standing room only crowd as we look at Mike-Aulby, who won his first title, 19 years of age. It was the PBA National in 1979. Doubled up. He's going for a 24-pin lead, but he leaves the 2-pin on the right lane.
Aulby just pulled that ball. All he has to do really on these lanes, there's an ideal shot, is get that ball wide. Look at this shot. Now watch this. It'll really tell you where he has to play. You see that ball coming out. Doesn't quite get to that first board, the little lighter colored board, and drifts high, breaks down the spare, leaves the 2-pin. Easy spare for Aulby. But get it wide, it'll strike almost every time.
Yes, Mike-Aulby needs only to win the Firestone to complete his Triple Crown bid. He shares his thoughts about the future.
Well, obviously, I'd like to win the Firestone, and I always work hard at that. I work hard at every tournament, whether it's a Firestone or not. So the main thing I try to do is go out, give it 100%, and do all I can do and try to win every tournament.
The Firestone would be Mike's culmination of the Triple Crown, Firestone U.S. Open, and PBA National. Only 3 other players have won it. Now he leads by 13, 5th frame.
3 players are Billy Hardwick, Pete Weber, and of course Johnny Petraglia that I mentioned a little bit earlier.
Parker-Bohn putting a piece of tape in his thumb hole. It's nice and comfortable in this bowling center, and the thumb has a tendency to go down. Players are very particular on getting the right feel. And a bowler will hold that ball in the palm of the hand. Look at how Parker holds it in the palm of the hand. Keep it there and snap that wrist.
Leaving a 6-pin on the right lane.
Chris, we talked about scratch bowlers, or Robert Lawrence alluded to it at the opening. And basically we call a scratch bowler a 200 average player. These players obviously are much above 200, as between Parker-Bohn and Mike-Aulby, they average 250 on this championship pair. So quite a standard to keep up with.
Well, Parker continues to mark. Bo, a little later, will give you the top 24 finishers. I'll have a chance. I'd like to tell you that Del Ballard finished 28th, Pete Weber 29th, Marshall Holman 30th, Tom Baker 34th, Norm Duke 39th.
We'll see different positions of the players on the lane, but the key spot's going to be where they cross. They're going to cross out here. You watch, he'll slide about right here. You see this. Now here's the line that he wants to roll, and make sure to keep that ball wide.
So it's a 2-4-7 for the lefty.
Parker is doing something that he does not want to do. I watched him the last 2 days. He was keeping his hand underneath the ball. As you see, the ball hooking a little too much, leaving the 2, 4, and 7. He wants to keep his hand underneath the ball and let the lane do the work. He's what we do call turning it a little bit early. Tucks his hand, tucks that pinky. Now keep that ball in the palm of the hand and don't go over the top of it.
And it was helped in an early bowling career by Dave Davis and his wife, Joanne. Mark Roth, to one of Parker's heroes, and